In my past videos, I did discuss how I was disappointed with the vintage collection and how I was upset with Hasbro. But I wrote Hasbro this dear little letter, hoping for some forgiveness. Dear Hasbro, I'm very sorry that in my last video or in my previous videos, I claimed that you and Disney and Star Wars are all the same devil, which technically you are because you're all owned by the same company, so you are the same devil. But I just want to say I appreciate the vintage collection and the quality of the figures, but that's it. How come they are so hard to find in stores? And if they were easier to find in stores, I would be able to get more. But thank you. And how come the Black Series has more figures in the vintage collection? Yours sincerely, Skybottom Station. I hope they respond. So what we need to do now is look at my vintage collection figures and see which ones I have, because you know what? It's been a while and I forgot which figures that I have. And here is my vintage collection in its entirety. So I have a total of 76 figures here. And it is a small collection, but it is my collection, and they are all figures that I do like, and they are all unique to Skybottom Station. 76 figures may not seem like a lot, but to me it is a lot because these guys are hard to find in the store, out in the wild. But for the majority, all of these I found in store on the peg. So that's why this collection is more unique and special to me. My favorite part of my vintage collection are my Imperial. I have a total of, I think, almost 30. Not a lot. I should be building my Imperial more. We have a total of 4 IG-11 droids. We have the majority of the Walmart clone wave right here. Double Darth Mauls because I wanted one for a custom, but I never got around to that. How many figures do you guys buy and say, hey, I'm gonna customize this later, and you guys just never get around to? Still super pleased with the way she came out. Yeah, when I found these, I was super juiced. Back when I first started building Skybottom. I got 5 of these Scout Troopers from Las Vegas. Army built these guys so quick when I was building Skybottom. I just bought 5 at one time. Do I regret it? No. As you can see behind me, Skybottom Station is quite empty. So the reason for that is I wanted to take every single figure that was not vintage collection, take them down and only populate it with the vintage collection. I don't like being too harsh on the vintage collection in Hasbro because some of these figures are great. The articulation is amazing. The head sculpts are sometimes, at most, 10 out of 10 for what they are. I do like the aesthetic of having just Star Wars characters on Skybottom because it just looks awesome. It really does look like Coruscant, you know? It looks like a real sci-fi environment with just Star Wars characters. I do appreciate that. A station is not complete without having its fair share of Jawas. And the reason why I like these Jawas specifically because they are the off-world Jawas. So these Jawas are not native to Tatooine. So it makes sense for off-world Jawas to be on Skybottom Station. The only battle droid of its kind, he's treated more of like a dog or a pet than a respected droid. We have a C-3PO that's been stripped of some of its parts. In my opinion, she's still one of the best vintage collection figures ever made. This Hondo was not that bad of a figure, but he can use a little bit more details and maybe a heavy wash, but I'm too lazy to do it. But who knows? We have the armor and we have Sasha Banks. For those of you that don't know, she's actually Sasha Banks from WWE. I like calling her Sasha Banks because I know her as Sasha Banks. In my opinion, he is an underrated vintage collection figure. His head sculpt is perfect. His body is dope. If you're trying to make a custom Jawa, his body is the perfect base for a Jawa. This figure is still peg warming at my Walmart. I don't know why. Oh wait, I do know why, because people don't world build. Ladies and gentlemen, the Skybottom Smugglers. Well, the vintage collection portion of the Skybottom Smugglers. You gotta love the Snaggletooth brothers and their little best friend Ewok buddy. The only reason why I bought these Andor figures was because I need one of them to be a custom and they just make perfect civilians. Some vintage collection figures are easy to stand, but for some reason, these Andor figures, especially Andor himself. This is my Jedi pilot Peach, and she lives here on Skybottom now. So one of my favorite things is taking characters from different franchises and customizing them into citizens of Skybottom Station. And I think having a Princess Peach that is a pilot, that's a Jedi, makes sense. I just couldn't have, you know, cute Peach in a pink dress walking around Skybottom Station. When you live on Skybottom, you adapt to your surroundings, and this is what Peach looks like if she were to live on Skybottom Station. As we move along here, we have Lando talking to Jyn Erso and Andor. And Jyn and Andor are trying to get a ride off of Skybottom Station because for some reason, the citizens do not like Jyn. Bo-Katan is actually wielding the Darksaber and they are not happy about that. They do not like Bo-Katan wielding a weapon so legendary. Fennec is one of the best vintage collection figures in my opinion. These rooms are being built, you know, these are new apartment complexes and new condos. So like any real living place, when you see a new building go up, you're going to see the different stages and phases of the building. You're going to see the frames, the wood, you know, so it makes sense to have these just standing there, you know. Skybottom Station does not have too many clones. We don't have any prequel trilogies. Well, we do, but we don't have too many prequel trilogy characters located on the station. The only clones that are here are these two because I think these are the best looking clones, in my opinion, in the vintage collection. When I first built Skybottom, he was one of my first customs and he's still my favorite. He just has so much story to tell. You know, he's an alcoholic that just can't stop drinking. He used to be a trooper and then he just gave up. Welcome to the Skybottom Dark Trooper program, led by yours truly, Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon is wielding the Darksaber, which I believe he rightfully owns. On Skybottom Station, Moff Gideon wields the Darksaber. The Imperial have a strong influence on the citizens and on Skybottom itself. So it's very important that I have unique Imperial to Skybottom Station. If you guys would like to help me name these sisters, please drop some ideas in the comments and I'll read them. But these Dark Troopers are absolutely amazing. In my opinion, the articulation is not really that great, but I just love the display. I love how they look, especially when you're army building them. One way to up your security on your station is having a little squad of Dark Troopers. These are curious, lost, traveler, passer buyers that took the wrong shuttle and ended up on Skybottom Station. You could tell by the way that they're dressed that they're not from here. Can somebody please explain why this is one of the worst vintage collection figures ever? Why is Luke's hand so big? Why are his shoulders like that? We are not going to a baseball game, Luke. We don't need a big styrofoam pointy finger down here on Skybottom Station. Don't ask me who and why. Just know that this thing exists here on Skybottom Station. The vintage collection would be much more on my list of favorite world building action figures if they were more convenient to find in stores. The fact that the vintage collection is always a nightmare to find in Target, Walmart, online, eBay, Amazon, wherever, the vintage collection is not really something that I recommend for world building. Now, if you're a collector and you want to just collect Star Wars figures, go for the vintage collection. But if you want to populate your stations fast with citizens, the vintage collection might take a little bit more time. By the time I was done shooting this video, I ran over to Target and guess what I found? I found my 5th Dark Trooper. I really do enjoy these figures. I have 4, I need 5 because I think 5 is a nice number for a squad. Oh yeah, you always gotta get your trusty friend, Mr. Crafty. Yeah, the Imperial are my favorite. I would really like to have maybe 10 of these Dark Troopers and then just have them, you know, not invade Skybottom, but see. All right, so it comes with one of these little things. Does anybody ever use these? I've seen just the accessory go for $15 on eBay, which is super crazy. But what the f